Hi, I'm Ashley Eckstein.
I'm Michael James Scott.
And welcome to HypeFriend. Yay! I feel like we need a theme song.
Yes, we do. It's coming. Surely
Yes.
it'll come. We don't have it yet, but obviously we're going to have a theme song.
Obviously.
We're going to have a music video. But before any of that, what is a hype friend?
Being a hype friend is someone who genuinely and unconditionally cares. And, being a hype friend starts with you. I feel like if you want hype friends in your life, you also have to be a hype friend. But it's a friend who is genuinely happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a friend who supports you in time of need. And it's a friend who just positively impacts your life. I started using the term hype friend when I was going through a dark time in my life, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it, but I needed hype friends. I needed family and friends and in my life to pull me out of that dark time.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful because I don't think I would have been pulled out of that time had I not been surrounded by hype friends. And so it opened up my eyes to the importance of friendship. We were also going through a global pandemic, a global shutdown. And it really opened up my eyes to the importance of friendship during that time of isolation.
Yeah.
And also loneliness. We're still going through a pandemic, and it's a pandemic of loneliness. And loneliness can literally not only affect your mental health, but also your physical health. And so I started using the term hype friend because I realized that people needed friends.
Yes.
And we could, help with loneliness by really kind of starting a revolution of hype friends.
Amen. Well, which the crazy thing about that too is that in this digital world, we're more connected, but more disconnected than ever. So in that, it's harder and harder to make friends.
Yes.
And all, of course, with all that. So we were like, okay, so we want to help.
Yes, we want to help.
We want to help, and we want to be a part of that. The mission is to start a friendship revolution, one hype friend at a time.
Yes, it is. That's once again, cheers.
Okay, cheers to
that.
That's where this came from, and that's truly, we really believe in that. Okay, well, wait a minute. Now, we should go back. Now, y'all think y'all may know us from our work in, with the Disney company. Ashley is the voice of Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars.
And Michael is the Genie in Disney's Aladdin on Broadway.
But y'all, we actually go much farther back.
Yes.
We actually go back to high school days.
Mm-hmm.
We like to say our hype friend, it was established in 1996.
Yes. So Michael and I met when I was a freshman in high school. Michael was a sophomore in high school.
Yep.
Dr. Phillips High School.
Go Panthers.
DPHS. And we became friends instantly.
Yes. And that was before cell phones. That was before social media. Like, we literally had to make friends in person. We had to actually talk. We had to hang out and be in person to be friends. I mean, that was really what we had to do.
If you wanted to hang out with someone, you literally had to walk up to them and say, hey, do you want to go out for coffee? Or, hey, can I call you later on your landline? Or I think we had beepers. We had beepers back then.
We absolutely had beepers.
That was as much technology as we had. I think maybe I had just gotten my first email address. And yes, we're dating ourselves. But the reason we're dating ourselves is there's such an importance to connecting in person. Yes, technology is wonderful. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
The fact that we can connect in an instant with anyone around the world is amazing. It is, but we are social beings.
Yeah.
We need to connect in person. We need to look each other in the eyes. We need to laugh. We need to cry. We need to hug. We need to knuckle knock. We need to cheers. We need to connect in person. We are social beings. That is what we need. And so we're going to literally do a whole podcast on how to be friends and to be hype friends.
And the thing is that we're going to learn to do it together. We also want to learn. It's important for us to get to learn from each other, from you, from our community, to do this together. Like that's something really important for us. We are starting a friendship revolution, one hype friend at a time. So come on this journey with us. Ooh.
All right, should we get into it?
Yes. But okay, right. So our first section, I'm really excited about this segment. It's an important one.
Probably not what you would think, though.
Probably not. But this segment is called Ashley Bakes.
I love how I have a Broadway performer as a co-host, and he can just like make up jingles on the fly. But baking is my love language.
Yes.
And it's almost like a mindfulness activity for me. But a couple years ago, I found out that I have some intolerances that, dairy and egg and a couple of other things were causing migraines. Along the way, you found out.
Because of Ashley Eckstein and her husband, David Eckstein, I also found out some intolerances that I have, which include basically the same things that I had no idea about, but they were so amazing to share their health situation with us for myself and my husband. So
I try to bake gluten, dairy, egg free, basically free of all of the good stuff, but I don't want to sacrifice. I want to taste all of the good things.
How do you really feel about that, Ashley?
I know. It's a challenge. So I have some wins and losses. Some bakes are delicious and some are atrocious. They're catastrophes. But you, as a good hype friend, Michael, have agreed to try all of my bakes.
Absolutely.
For better or for worse.
That's what I'm here for.
So I started you out simple.
Okay.
Because I started out with something that I know is delicious. So my friend Lauren, we're not really friends yet, but I want to be. She has a brand called Sweet Lauren's. They're delicious.
Sweet Lauren.
So you can get these at the grocery store and you can bake them at home. So these are her fudgy brownie cookies, but I elevated them. So we have some gluten-free vegan Oreo. So chocolate Oreo.
Ooh.
I have some M&M cookies or some salted pretzel.
Come on now, salty and sweet.
Yes. So try whatever. And you can even try a couple bites of all of them.
I mean, obviously, I'm going in for D, all of the above. So I'm going to start. Okay. All right. I'm going to start with the salty and sweet situation because,
I know you're a little, you are a little salty sweet.
Ooh. Salty sweet. Okay.
Is it good?
Yes. It's so good. Sweet Lauren. Sweet Ashley. I'm in. That is so good.
So good.
Oh, wow.
Gluten-free, vegan, bam.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we're starting here. I'm very curious to see where we're going to keep going. But this is amazing.
Wait till I bake from scratch.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Y'all stay tuned for the from scratch. I'm in love with this segment. You never know what you're going to get. I love it. Okay, so that's Ashley Bakes, which is very exciting.
Yep.
And I think it's going to definitely get more and more complicated as we go because from what I gather.
Again, there's some wins and losses.
Well, I want to move on to our second segment. It's important to have ups and the downs of it all. And so this segment is our hypes and gripes.
Ooh, you went all like radio DJ on us.
Our hypes and gripes. And we all know we got the hypes and the gripes of it all, right? So let's get into it. Ashley, what's your hype and your gripe for this week?
You know what? My hype is spontaneous messages. When you think something about someone, saying it. Now, whether it's in person and you see someone and you're like, wow, they look really pretty, even if it's a perfect stranger and you come across like this perfect stranger, let's say a waiter that, you know, is taking your order and then you give them your order and then you say, wow, you look beautiful today. It always makes their day. When somebody does that to me, it makes my day. And oftentimes, like I think things, but then I don't say them.
Yes.
So my hype is to all those people out there that give spontaneous, kind messages. Even if you text someone, like text someone out of the blue, like, hey, I was thinking about you today. I really appreciate you.
I love a spontaneous, like tech. I love it. I love that.
So that's my hype. My gripe, I'm going to call myself out right now.
Oh.
I know, because my gripe is something that I'm guilty of doing. So I call it the 3 dots of doom. We all know these dots.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
When you're on your phone, I've got my phone right here, and you're typing, and then you can see that whoever you're typing with is typing you back. And then you wait, and you wait, and you wait, because you know that they're typing you back, and then that message doesn't come.
It does not come. It is the worst.
So here's what I'm guilty of. I'm guilty of starting a message. So I start those 3 dots of doom, and then I get busy and I never finish the message.
Ashley?
I know.
Eckstein. We are going to get better at that. Because when you leave off, I mean, that is because, you know, I love tea. You know, I want to know what's going on or what, you know, what's happening or like something. And I'm also like, as my husband would say, I'm like, right away. I want to know right away.
You have texting anxiety.
I probably do. I guess I do.
My husband has texting anxiety.
I have texting anxiety. And so I want to know, what's happening.
To all of those who have been the recipient of my 3 dots of doom, I apologize, and it is something I'm working on in 2025.
Work.
Yes.
I feel like, okay.
So that's my hype and gripe. What about you?
I just traveled. So for me, the hype is when you have an amazing flight attendant. I love I like to like hype up. It can be so stressful traveling, all the things, right? And and especially nowadays, it feels like, don't you feel like you get on the flight and the first thing they say is, we're expecting to have a completely full flight today. You're like, okay, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's always a full flight, which is fine. You know, great. People are flying. They're doing their things. When you have a fierce flight attendant who is efficient and or maybe cutting jokes, they give you a spontaneous compliment.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like all the things are like, welcome aboard. I'm sure you've all seen viral videos of some of the flight attendants singing or making fun announcements, all the things. I live for all of that. And it starts off, it makes the flight in a great place to start off. So I'm hyping up flight attendants, period. I'm just putting it out there. I love y'all. I love you, fierce flight attendants.
We're hyped about you.
Hyped up. I'm hyped up about you. My gripe.
Uh-oh. I need a bite of a cookie.
You know what? I think I might need a bite of a cookie as well, because that just would make So this is the gripe. I feel like a preacher right now. Like I'm like, this is my gripe. At the end of the flight, the plane lands, you get to the gate, and then all of a sudden you hear ding. And when I tell you, it is literally like a wrestling match of people jumping out and to get into those aisles to get your stuff. It is absolutely insanity for me. It is like Game of Thrones, and I don't even watch Game of Thrones. So like,
you don't watch Game of Thrones?
No, I don't.
You need to do that in 2025.
I know. But it is absolutely bananas. What is that face for?
So I'm laughing because I'm calling out my husband right now, who's in the background, because He is one of those people. Now he's respectful. He's
course.
respectful of others. He expects full efficiency. As soon as that bell dings, we have to stand up. We have to have all of our stuff in the bag. And as soon as it's our turn to walk off the plane, I better be ready to walk off the plane. I am not one of those people. What if I'm watching a movie that's like ending, and what if I want to finish the movie? I mean, I don't care if I'm last off the plane. I gotta finish this movie.
I agree. But here's the thing: we're going to get off the plane.
Yes,
and it makes things, and that's partly me too. Like it's like, okay, I can't feed into the energy of the anxiety of like being like, oh my god, we gotta go. But like, it just is so crazy now. It feels so crazy. It feels so crazy. So that is my gripe.
That's a good gripe.
And I feel like the community out there, y'all will know, you will get what's up.
Yes.
Like, so that was Hypes and Gripes. Oh.
Okay, so next, I don't have a good jingle for this, Michael, but I can do the setup.
Okay.
As we both already mentioned, we love the tea. we love the tea. We love the gossip. But what we're not here for, and we're not here to perpetuate, is the bad gossip.
Right.
Because being in the limelight, we have actually been the benefactors of gossip that's not great.
Yeah.
And people say stuff about you, and then you hear it and you're like, one time I was doing an event, and afterwards, one of the cast members came up to me and said, I'm so thankful to be talking to you because we were told that we couldn't look you in the eyes. Now, if you know me, not only do I want to look you in the eyes, I am going to give you the biggest hug. I love
That's
people.
That's crazy.
I love talking to everyone. But I have no idea who said that.
Maybe because you can't see them on the eye length.
That could be too. That could be.
That is absolutely insane. Whoever would say that.
But then when stuff like that happens, then gossip spreads.
Yes.
We're not here for the bad gossip, but what we are here for is the good gossip.
Ooh, the good gossip. Good gossip. Good gossip. Good gossip.
Okay, Michael, you start. What's your good gossip?
Ooh, okay. My good gossip, it just made sense to do this good gossip about someone who is no longer with us, but the epitome of HypeFriend, a very, very dear friend of mine, and the Broadway community, the entertainment community as a whole. We lost him towards the end of last year, and his name was Gavin Creel. Oh. Gavin, yes, and I know that you knew of him and all the things, but Gavin was literally the epitome of HypeFriend. He was light, he was love, he was magic. He really was, and we got to do hair together. We got to do, yes, I know, I have a lot of hair. It's so funny when I say I did hair. It's like the most ridiculous thing.
But did you have hair?
Yes, I had a full afro wig on. Yes, during it, and it was so amazing and ridiculous. And I was naked on stage. Yes, I know. That's another episode when your grandmother comes to see you on a Broadway stage naked, and she says, and I say, I'm gonna be naked, and she says, that's okay, baby, you were born naked. I know. So there's that. Okay. There's that. That's a whole other thing.
All right.
But Gavin and I got to do the revival of Hair on Broadway and also in London. It was also the Summer of Love, which actually when Jeremy and my husband and I started dating. The Summer of Love. It was such a beautiful time. And what I loved about Gavin was somebody who I looked up to before I even started that show, because he has one of the most iconic tenor voices in the musical theater, in our musical theater world, truly, in my opinion. And Gavin was one of those people who included everyone. It did not matter who you were in the theater, he included you. And if he saw you that you were even just a little bit down, he invited you to his dressing room to just be there. Yeah. And I will never forget coming up in the theater and walking past his dressing room and seeing 4, 5, 6 people at every, at every night before a show, before him having to actually have energy to do a show.
Wow.
There he was.
He's
hosting, entertaining people and making them feel welcome and making them feel okay. That's the kind of man he was. And that's the kind of hype friend he literally walked. Like, he walked that walk always. And to lose him at such a young age, he was only 47 years old.
Wow.
It was devastating and a huge loss for us all. So my hype, my good guy, my hype of it all, and the good gossip is the amazing Gavin Creel.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It was very, very kind. How about you? How about you?
It's funny because we didn't discuss this, but my good gossip is also about someone who's passed away. But I got to set up the story. So, I went to a convention. This is years ago. This is probably 2010. There's a convention called Dragon Con. This was early days of me being Ahsoka. And I remember looking on my schedule, and I was on a panel called The Stars of Star Wars. And I was running a little late that day. So my husband and I had to book it there to get there on time. And I remember getting to the doorway of the panel, and there's 3,000 people in this hall.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. And I remember looking at my husband, and then there was a volunteer there, and I showed him my schedule, and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm Ashley Eckstein. I'm the voice of Ahsoka Tano, but I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Is this where the Stars of Star Wars panel is? And he's like, oh, yeah, go backstage right there. And so I'm literally like, what am I doing here? I have no idea who's on the panel with me. And I walk backstage, and literally sitting there is Carrie Fisher, Peter Mayhew, and Tamora Morrison. Now, I know you're not a huge Star Wars fan, but
I know those names.
Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and Tamora Morrison, so many clones, and Boba Fett, and I just honestly, instantly, imposter syndrome set in because I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan, so I was honored to be a part of the Star Wars universe, but by no means did I consider myself in the same realm as the OG actors. So there's Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Peter Mayhew, Ashley Eckstein, just not even close. So I timidly walk up to the table, and I say to everyone, because they're all sitting together at one table, and I introduce myself, and I'm like, hi, I'm Ashley Eckstein. I'm the voice of Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I'm supposed to be on this panel, but I don't know why, because, I shouldn't be on the stage with you all. And so this is my good gossip story because it's about Carrie Fisher. She instantly walked up to me, gave me a huge hug, welcomed me to the family, and said, honey, you absolutely belong on this panel. You are a part of us. And she just made me feel welcome. And then she's known for her iconic glitter bombs, where she literally takes glitter and she just throws it on you.
Get out of here.
Yes. She literally covers your head in glitter, hair, face, everything. And she gave me one of her iconic glitter bombs, and she just said, you are a part of us and you belong on that stage. Yeah.
Wow, Ashley.
I know. I will never forget it. Shortly after I had started her universe, and I remember getting the chance to tell Carrie Fisher about my company, and she was so supportive. Not only did she come to my booth, and I wanted to give her all my merchandise, she refused. She bought the merchandise, and then she signed a headshot for me, and signed it to the company, and we kept it in our booth for many years as our good luck charm.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, that's some good gossip.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Cheers.
So cheers.
Cheers to Carrie. Cheers to Gavin. Wow. That's amazing.
And that is why we share the good gossip. All right, Michael. So this next segment is, I guess, what we're calling Welcome to the Neighborhood.
Yes.
Because I love the show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh,
yes.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful neighborhood.
But, I grew up watching the show, and I honestly still watch this show if I see a rerun. Mr. Rogers inspired me so much. He inspired me about what it means to be a good friend, how to be kind, and it was a huge inspiration for HypeFriend, our podcast.
Yeah.
But I also shared a story with you that inspired this segment about my old manager. So, we're both perfectionists, for better or for worse.
Yes.
And, I have an old manager who, after a very frustrating audition, I didn't do as well as I wanted to. And I was really beating myself up about it. And she said, Ashley, your mind is like a dangerous neighborhood at night. Don't walk in it alone. Think about that. And it really stuck with me. And it made me realize that I need to get these thoughts out of my head, because we can often be our own worst enemy, our own worst bully.
Yeah.
And so we need those hype friends in our life to say, no, you're great. You are so talented. Keep going. You can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, that's what we're building.
Yeah, so it only seemed fitting for the first episode that we interviewed ourselves.
Yes,
we kind of invited ourselves to the neighborhood, because we're gonna have other friends, guests, visitors come, but this first episode,
I mean, we're the first two neighbors. So here, neighbor, here's some cookies.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm your new neighbor.
Hey, I'm Michael. Thanks for the cookies.
But we thought, we'd share our stories a little bit, just like, we would, getting to know each other.
All right.
So I want to know, I'm putting you on the spot.
Ooh.
What do you remember about me? What was your first impression of high school Ashley?
Oh my gosh.
And why did you even want to be my friend?
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So what I remember of this lovely being that's sitting right next to me was, she would fully give you a hip hop situation, turnout moment any time. Yes. A. B. She was a church lady in the ensemble of Pearly Victorious.
Always clapping off the beat.
With a church fan. Oh, yes. and C, she was obsessed with Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Pearly is a musical, an old school musical that it's called Pearly Victorious, and it's based on a play that was turned into a musical, and it's literally an all black cast. So Ashley Eckstein was literally a dancing black church lady. And my, oh my, did she do it.
Okay, but I think it's important to clarify, Michael, that we did Pearly for you and a couple of other cast members who were the lead characters, but it was not an all black cast. I was not the only white person in the cast.
She was not.
It was a mixed cast.
Yes.
And in order to have a full ensemble,
inclusive, if you will.
It was an inclusive cast.
Yes.
And in order to have a full ensemble, we had to be inclusive. But I remember this. We did Pearly because you and a couple of other cast members were so talented. I mean, we just knew that you were Broadway bound, and so they selected Pearly essentially for you and several other people in your class. And we were so proud to do that show because it highlighted your talent. We were being hype friends to you.
Like, for real. That you're so, yes.
That is really what it was. It like, we were so proud to be in the ensemble for you. And I'll never forget that, watching you shine and watching how brilliant you were in that show. I don't care what part I had to be. I was proud to watch you shine, and that's what I remember.
Though that's very kind, but that's literally just seeing the energy that Ashley, and also she looks exactly the same. Like truly, like she literally looks the exact same. Like when we reconnected, like, a few years ago, I was like, she literally looks the same. Like, this is crazy to me. It's crazy.
You are very
like
kind.
you just, it's amazing. But that's what I remember from you, and that's what I think what I love about our history was that it didn't matter where we came from, where what we were doing. We just connected, and our friend group at our school, like that's what we just did. And it literally didn't matter where we came from, color of our skin, whether we were male or female. I mean, literally, we just connected on the base level of just like
our love of theater.
Yeah. Okay, so now, Miss Ashley, what is it that did I look the same? Do I, like, are we?
You absolutely look the same.
Don't you even say that. I'm going to tell the community out there, she is not telling the truth. She is being very lovely. I was a big, big old chocolate ball, just a big ball, a big old big ball, chocolate ball. I was a lot bigger back then. and I just was like a cute little roly-poly chocolate chubby child who just wanted to sing and dance.
Okay, well, I should say that you haven't aged. You haven't aged. But I will say this. Okay. I will say this. When I came in, I had already been acting a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the world of entertainment, it's very cutthroat of how you look. It's there's usually, when you audition, there's a breakdown of how tall you have to be, honestly, what your weight is, your hair color, your skin color. It's like, you're so often put in a box. I remember coming into Dr. Phillips High School and meeting you and you were just authentically you. There was nobody else that looked like you. I mean, literally, like you were just. You were Michael Scott. You weren't MJS then. Michael James
right.
Scott. You were just Michael Scott.
Yes.
And you said it. You were just a big old ball. A big old ball.
My goal was to get her to say like a big ball, chocolate ball.
But you weren't the conventional the
conventional dancer, or a conventional what you're supposed to quote unquote look like. Yes, as a dancer.
There was nobody that looked like you, yet you were the best one on stage.
Oh.
And I mean that. You were the best one on stage, and everyone wanted to be you. If there was a breakdown that said what they were looking for, everyone should be like Michael Scott. Like, but I'm serious. And what I loved is, everyone was your friend right away. You welcomed everyone, but you expected greatness from everyone. And you wanted everyone to rise to your level, but not in an intimidating way. It was like, no, we can do this. We're gonna win Best Group Musical at the Thespian Festival. Of course we are, because we're the best. And to watch you shine, I wanted to shine.
So that happened, and then life happens. Our paths, we went our ways. Like you
went the Broadway route.
Yep.
I went the film and television route.
Yeah.
And we went 20 years without seeing each other. Can you believe that? 20 years.
Wow.
And then the wonderful world of Disney brought us back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
20 years.
In those 20 years, it's a lot. There was, relationships, it's like we can go into all the things. I think what I'm interested in, we both ended up back with the wonderful world of Disney, right? ended up being playing characters who are very iconic in their worlds. It's kind of crazy that are both of our paths, like how that is. And characters who literally are, in my opinion, probably like the ultimate hype friends.
Yes.
Right?
The Genie and Ahsoka are absolutely the ultimate hype friends.
Like the ultimate hype friends. I guess my question really is, how has Ahsoka inspired you to be a hype friend? It's a big question.
It is a big question. Let's start with Ahsoka for a second. Ahsoka, her true power is her kindness. It's not her 2 lightsabers. It's not the fact that she is literally like the fiercest fighter. I mean, she literally, the fight with her and Vader is just one of the most iconic. It's not how fierce she is. It's actually how kind she is. Ahsoka has a line in the final season of Clone Wars where she says, "In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them no matter what. I guess it's just who I am." And when I recorded that line, that became my new motto. I realized that I wanted to be just like Ahsoka, and how powerful that line was, is to help others no matter what. Just because. And in that episode where she says that, she's helping 2 complete strangers just because they needed her help. And so, in 2020, I was in this place where professionally, honestly, my confidence had just been shattered. Like completely shattered. I questioned my talent. I questioned my direction. I questioned, if I even wanted to still be in the entertainment industry. And I honestly wanted to walk away from it all. And it was Ahsoka's light and her hope that kept me going. And then talking about hype friends, it was all the hype friends in my life that took me out of that dangerous neighborhood in my head, and pulled me out of it. And so Ahsoka has inspired me on so many levels. She's inspired me as a hype friend, this fictional character, but she's inspired me to be the best hype friend, because I see she's not only impacting people like me, but she's changing and saving lives all over the world. All right, Michael, what about you? How has the Genie inspired you to be a hype friend?
Ooh, Lord. So, I mean, listen, it has been the honor of a lifetime getting to play the iconic role that is the Genie. It never, ever was on my radar. Like, to be playing this part, it is crazy how it came into my life, and now it has become such a big part of my life.
You are the Genie. I mean, come on. Like, you do make people's wishes come true. I can say you ain't never had a friend like me about you, because there's no one like MJS.
Well, that's very kind. And I think what has been interesting and actually very, I think, meaningful for me is to really understand the blurred line of the Genie and Michael James Scott, right? And what that actually means. Unmasking this, the glitter that you still see randomly, little specks on my face, the lights, the showman of it all, and really getting to understand what the Genie is, who the Genie is. The Genie, in the midst of, literally take everything away, the Genie is about love. And Michael James Scott is about love.
Yes, you are.
But it has been, to me, I think, the therapeutic to really understand, really, for Michael James Scott, this idea of this unapologetic, authentic self, right? The Genie is all of those things. And in order for me to, I think, to be any kind of successful Genie, I really needed to do that. I really needed to challenge myself to really be unapologetic, to really be authentic, to not apologize for all of the craziness that I am and that I bring into this world, and what that actually means to me. And I think in order to be a hype friend, for others, you also need to make sure that you are authentic in yourself first.
I love that you're saying that, because I think to be like the best hype friend, you have to love yourself first.
You have to love yourself first. You do. And I think you also, as you mentioned, you went through some dark times, just sort of like some down times within yourself, trying to figure out uh, a lot of things, and there were those hype friends to help you, and your family, your hype friends, to come on and get you out of those places. And part of that for me too was, that has been that way for me as well. And some people don't automatically think that maybe I have down time,
Yeah.
that I am down. And I think that for me, I also had to make sure it's okay for me to be down. It is
Yeah.
okay for me to get to breathe through that uncomfortable, dark times that maybe I don't appear to be love, light, and laughter 24/7, where you see me on a stage, or where you see me maybe on my Instagram, or where you see me in an interview. That it's okay to unmask some of that stuff, and be able to connect with the idea that I'm not always that way. This to me is really interesting, and I'm excited to be on this journey with this podcast, to be able to learn, the most amazing things about this idea of me, this role of the genie, and who Michael James Scott is, that blurred line, but also like unmasking that, and really being able to just be authentically me within it.
Honestly, I think this takes us to our final segment.
Yeah.
Which is our one last thing.
Yes.
What's our one last thing for this episode? And you just said it. It's taking that first step. And,
Oof.
We've talked about doing this podcast for about 1.5 years now. And I'll be the first to admit, there was several days where I was like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. And there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of imposter syndrome. Really? Are we going to do this? There was just so many doubts. But you know what? We took the first step.
And we're here.
So we're here. So, and you're here. Thank you for watching our first episode.
You watched our first episode.
You watched our first episode. Thank you.
You listened to our first episode.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing.
So yeah, one last thing. Take the first step. Do it. Don't let fear hold you back. Michael, I think we need to close this out and eat the rest of these cookies.
All right. Well, let's do it.
So I'm Ashley Eckstein.
I'm Michael James Scott.
Always remember to be a hype friend. The hype starts with you.